Oh, can you smell that? Smell that. Oh, do you know what this is? Coffee. Coffee. Guys, we are halfway through Lent. And I don't know what you've given up, but I gave up coffee. It's crazy. I mean, you probably don't even survive without a cup of coffee a day. Your hair gets all crazy and you get... who am I kidding? None of you probably drink coffee. But it's been really hard. And I don't know what you've given up for Lent. Maybe you gave up sweets. Maybe you've given up some of your money to be able to put in a little jar or a box to give to Haiti Arise, to support our family and the kids in Haiti, buy them clothes and food and school supplies. Whatever you've done for Lent, don't give up because Easter is coming. Yes. And one of the best ways we can appreciate something is when we have to wait for it. Anyhow, we can stop talking about this because it is time to worship. Let's worship together.
Artist ever known, his brilliance through creation shown. All we can taste, see, touch, and smell, his beauty matched by nothing else. He said, let there be light, and then there was light. He set the limits of the skies. He made the grass so green, planted every seed, gives air for us to breathe. God made everything. God made everything. God made everything. God made everything. His hands formed every grain of sand. One was crafted in his plan. The mountains, sea, the sun and stars displays the glory of the Lord. He said, let there be light, and then there was light. He set the limits of the skies. He made the grass so green, planted every seed, gives air for us to breathe. God made everything. God made everything. God made everything. God made everything.
If we have seen creation, then we have seen your power. If we have seen creation, then we can know who you are.
He said, let there be light, and then there was light. He set the limits of the skies. He made the grass so green, planted every seed, gives air for us to breathe. Let there be light, and then there was light. He set the limits of the skies. He made the grass so green, planted every seed, gives air for us to breathe. God made everything. 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 God made everything.
down. A little worried when I look around. That's why my hope is in. My hope is in the Lord. I fix my eyes upon the God who gives. 'Cause all I need is what I have in Him. That's why my hope is in. My hope is in the Lord. My hope is in the Lord. I belong to Him. He will never let me go. My hope is in the Lord. I can count on Him. My hope is in the Lord. I can't help but feel a little down, a little worried when I look around. That's why my hope is in. My hope is in the Lord. I fix my eyes upon the God who gives. 'Cause all I need is what I have in Him. That's why my hope is in. My hope is in the Lord. My hope is in the Lord. I belong to Him. He will never let me go. My hope is in the Lord. I can count on Him. My hope is in the Lord. My hope is in the Lord. I belong to Him. He will never let me go. My hope is in the Lord. I can count on Him. My hope is in the Lord.
Happy Sunday, Crossroads kids! I hope you guys are doing really well. And that Pastor Jordan, he sure is funny. He's having a hard time because he gave up coffee for Lent. Well, I'm sure glad I didn't give up sweets because I'd have a really hard time baking all these yummy goods. I actually gave up doggy treats. So yeah, I haven't been having any doggy treats. Well, it's time for the big idea once again. And this week, the big idea is, if you don't wait, it could cost you. Huh. This looks like it could be a really important one to learn. Yeah. I don't know what it'll cost you, but you're going to find out in the lesson today. So, I hope you guys have a good lesson, and I'm just going to keep cooking over here. I think I'm going to make some muffins today. Okay, Crossroads kids, have a great day.
The first step will be to mix together precisely 1 cup of sugar with 1/2 cup of softened butter.
Got it. 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of butter. Nice. Oh, hi there. I'm in a baking class over the internet.
What was that, Graham?
Oh, nothing. I'm doing a thing.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, sorry. My instructor is teaching us how to bake a cake from scratch. It won't take long, so you just have a little patience and I'll be right.
You should be done mixing the sugar and butter together, so let's move on.
Ah! Patience is waiting until later for what you want now.
After you've stirred in the eggs, add 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Gotta catch up. How much vanilla did she say? Hold on a sec. Excuse me. Excuse me, what? Pardon. How much vanilla did you say?
2 teaspoons, Graham, and then you add cups of flour and milk.
What was that? I'm sorry. I missed that last part. I think you're frozen. Hello? You're frozen. Maybe I'm frozen. Maybe we're both frozen. I really don't like it when technology fails me. I'm trying to bake a cake here and you're just... And I have to wait until it unfreezes before I can make my cake. You know, sometimes we have to wait for things when we really, really don't want to. Just like in today's story. And sometimes, also like in today's story, we don't wait. I am making this cake. How much milk and flour did she say? I don't know. We'll see you soon. Oh! Yeah. Yeah.
It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verses 24 through 34.
When Abraham's son Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebekah. But it didn't seem as though they'd be able to have children.
Please, God, give us children.
But God answered Isaac's prayers, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins.
Isaac, I'm pretty sure they're having a wrestling match in here.
Oh, definitely boys.
Rebekah asked God about the struggle she could feel. He told her,
2 nations are in your body. One nation will be stronger than the other. The older son will serve the younger one.
When it was time for the babies to be born, they came out fighting. Esau was born first. He came out with a strong set of lungs and a head full of red hair. His brother Jacob was born moments later, still holding on to Esau's heel.
How on earth did he manage that?
The brothers shared the same birthday, but as they grew, that was about the only thing they had in common. Esau loved to roam far out into the wilderness.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Jacob preferred the comforts of home.
The sun is so hot. I'll just take a little nap in the tent.
Esau loved to hunt wild animals.
That is one excellent wildebeest.
Jacob preferred a different type of hunting.
Not you, not you. Ha! The perfect ripe honeydew melon.
One fine morning, Esau headed out into the wilds in search of adventure and some nice, juicy venison.
I'll feast tonight.
But Esau went all morning without spotting a single rabbit.
Ugh, should have packed a lunch.
In the afternoon, he tracked a deer for hours, but he missed his chance as the deer sprang away.
Ah!
At last, Esau headed for home, defeated. He was tired and irritated and so hungry he could eat an entire woolly mammoth.
Must eat food.
As Esau neared camp, a delicious smell wafted out to greet him.
Food!
Jacob had been home all day, resting and plucking his favorite herbs from his garden.
A little coriander, some dill.
As evening approached, Jacob used his savory herbs to whip up a tasty red lentil stew and a batch of fresh, buttery bread.
This will crisp up nicely on the hot stones.
By the time Esau had arrived in camp, Jacob's stew was simmered to perfection, and the bread was hot and crusty.
Food! Food!
Esau lunged for the stew cauldron, ready to grab a bowl, but Jacob blocked his path.
Not so fast.
Step aside, I'm hungry.
Clearly.
Just let me have some of that red stew.
Certainly.
Esau tried to dive for the stew pot again.
Just one itty-bitty thing.
What?
Well, first, give me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son.
Esau spent more time listening to his stomach than his brain. So in that moment, his stomach won out.
Look, I'm dying of hunger. If I die, those rights are pointless anyway. Now give me that stew.
Esau sprang forward once more.
promise to give me your rights.
Fine.
Fine what?
Fine, I promise.
Promise what?
I promise to give you my rights as the oldest.
Cool. Help yourself.
Jacob stepped aside as Esau hurled himself at the stew pot.
Stew!
Esau happily gorged himself on rich stew and fresh bread. But as his stomach filled up, he had time to stop and think again. Esau had just traded the rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only last him a few hours.
One, two, three. Oh, I almost made a bad decision. I wasn't going to be patient. We're waiting for Easter, and then I can have coffee, or I could just eat this bean now. Like, it's not the same thing. But we've seen two people make bad decisions because they weren't patient. Graham, he ate that egg. Ugh. And Esau, he gives up something that's really important to him for something not very important because he is impatient. Maybe that's happened to you, where you were in a rush, in a hurry, and so you traded somebody something, and they traded you something back, but you weren't patient, and so you didn't pay attention, and it wasn't very good, or you were working on a project, and you're like, let's get this done, and it ended up not working good, or you tried to finish some schoolwork really fast, and you made all kinds of mistakes because you weren't patient. It's hard to be patient. I'm finding it. I just want coffee. Patience can be long and boring, but being patient is important. Sometimes if we're not patient, it can really cost us and hurt us. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit that makes us more like God. And it makes me think, where do you need to be more patient? I think mine maybe has to do with continuing to wait for Easter. But there's probably some other things too. What is it for you?
All right, memory verse time! Woo! All right, remember, we're doing Psalm 27:14, trying to fill up the Plinko. We are going to practice together. Repeat after me. If you are here at church or at home, I want you to stand up. And we are going to do it big and little. Big and little voices. Repeat after me. With the big voices start. Psalm 27:14. Yes, all of you, big voices. Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart.
I hope you're doing the actions too, yeah.
And wait for the Lord. Good work. Okay, now let's practice it. Little voices, okay? You get your little voice on. Even mom and dad, if you're watching at home, little voices. Everybody standing with little voices. Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong. Good little voices. And take heart. And wait for the Lord. Yeah. Psalm 27:14. Remember, we are waiting for Easter, for Jesus to raise from the dead. So wait well. Jesus is coming to give us life. All right. Thanks for joining me, doing the big, small. Hope you will keep waiting for Lent. Later.